Hi everyone, I'm Tayden Miller, and I'll be taking you all through my Comenius independent research project. This project is all about the numbers behind building a team in the NBA. What fans see on TV is far from the full story of the NBA. Hundreds of minds are behind the scenes, making the decisions that assemble players onto a team. This is what's known as a team's front office, and it's exactly what we'll be looking at today. Through analytics, statistics, and history, we'll dive into the science behind building an NBA team with the goal of winning a championship. This project is titled NBA Moneyball, Analyzing Roster Construction by the Numbers. What exactly separates the front offices of champions from the rest? First, we're going to look at the superstar trend. Since 1980, only one team has won the NBA championship without a past, present, or future All-NBA player. And only 4 teams in NBA history have won a championship without a past, present, or future MVP player, according to Eddie Bitar. These numbers are astounding. 42 of the 43 NBA champions since 1980 have had a superstar on their team. One common saying in sports is that defense wins championships. Let's take a look at the numbers to see if this adage really holds truth. Ian Geertsen of UCLA Sports Analytics did this by graphing the correlation coefficient of offensive-defensive weight versus wins, as well as offensive-defensive weight versus SRS, or simple rating system, a rating system used to quantify team success. In simple terms, graphing offensive-defensive weight versus SRS is the same as graphing offense and defense versus regular season success for a team. When we look at this correlation since 2000, two very different trends emerge in the 2000s and the 2010s. In the 2000s, defense had a larger impact on winning than offense. In the 2010s, the opposite was true. We're focused on the more recent decade, which has relied on offense, at least for regular season success. How do the playoffs compare? This table focuses on the NBA champions and runners-up since 2010. Offensive-defensive weight is found by subtracting a team's defensive rating ranking from its offensive rating ranking. For example, the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks had the 10th best defensive rating in the NBA and the 6th best offensive rating in the NBA, giving them an offensive-defensive weight of -4. Positive weights mean the team was better at defense, and negative weights mean the team was better at offense. When looking at teams who have made the NBA Finals since 2010, the average offensive-defensive weight is -2.5, leaning toward the offensive side of the ball. However, when the champions and runners-up are separated, a more interesting observation develops. NBA champions have had an average offensive-defensive weight of 1, which leans slightly toward the defensive end, while runners-up have had an average offensive-defensive weight of -6.1, which leans heavily toward the offensive end. Champions have both an elite offense and an elite defense. The offensive-defensive weight of 1 is very small. However, while runners-up have had elite offenses, they've also had mediocre defenses. While offense does correlate to team success in today's NBA, champions typically thrive on the defensive end as well. As NBA champion coach, player, and president Pat Riley said, "In all the research you do as a coach, studying other coaches and championship-type situations, you find that all those teams combine talent with great defense. You've got to stop other teams to win." Our third trend that championship teams tend to follow is three-point shooting. In recent years, dating back to the early 2010s, three-point shooting has become more and more frequent in the NBA. One of the biggest reasons for this is basketball analytics, and we're about to see why. This points per shot graphic by Kirk Goldsberry, an NBA analyst for ESPN, displays the average points per shot attempt by location in the NBA from 2013 to 2018. As we can see, the green areas, which represent high-efficiency shots, are concentrated around the basket and behind the three-point line. More NBA teams have begun to discover this and adjust to it in recent years. As John Schumann points out in his article on NBA.com, it's simple math. Mid-range shots are made at only a slightly higher rate than three-pointers, so the threes, which are 1.1 points per attempt, are worth a lot more than the mid-range shots, 0.8 points per attempt. And if you can turn some or most of your mid-range shots into threes, you will score much more efficiently. This graph of field goal attempt frequency over time by Schumann on NBA.com is eye-opening. In 2010, mid-range shots were more common than threes. Since then, the frequency of mid-range shots have steadily but steeply declined, while threes have done the opposite. The three-point revolution gave rise to two new molds of role players. These two role players are the 3-and-D wing and the stretch big. The 3-and-D wing has turned into the most coveted type of role player in the NBA. These players are shooting guards and small forwards who provide both three-point shooting and defense for their teams. 3-and-D wings have played massive roles on many of the teams that have won championships in the last 10 years. Klay Thompson has filled this role perfectly during the Warriors' 4 championships since 2015. Danny Green's shooting and defense helped the Spurs, Raptors, and Lakers each win a championship. And PJ Tucker was vital in the 2021 Bucks title run. NBA front offices are paying a premium for 3-and-D wings in the draft and free agency, but recent history has proven that 3-and-D wings are a necessity for team success. Stretch bigs are power forwards and centers who are able to stretch the floor by shooting threes. The career of Kevin Love sheds light on the adjustment that big men have had to make in recent years. Love entered the league as a rebounder and interior scorer, but is now known for his three-point shooting. He epitomizes the changes that have defined the power forward position throughout the three-point revolution in the NBA. This trend isn't limited to just Love. Virtually every significant big man in the NBA has begun to shoot threes. Another interesting development in Love's career is that he entered the league as a power forward, but he's now a center despite being only 6'8". The three-point revolution rewrote the classifications for positions. Smaller players who are better at shooting threes are taking over the positions of bigger players who do not shoot threes. Stretch bigs, like 3-and-D wings, have been crucial for championship teams in recent years. Brook Lopez and Marc Gasol, similarly to Kevin Love, entered the NBA as interior players but adjusted to become stretch bigs. Lopez was an integral part of the Bucks championship in 2021, and Gasol spaced the floor for the Raptors as they won the title in 2019. Draymond Green played center for the Warriors during their 3 championships from 2015 to 2018. And let's not forget Anthony Davis, the superstar stretch big, who helped lead the Lakers to their 2020 NBA championship. We've discussed 3 trends that championship teams follow: star power, defense, and three-point shooting. How does a front office put all this together? Let's look at 4 recent examples of trades involving superstar players: Paul George to the Clippers, James Harden to the Nets, Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors, and Anthony Davis to the Lakers. In short, the Raptors and Lakers deals ended in championships. The Clippers and Nets did not. What exactly separated these successful deals from the failures? Health. The Raptors and Lakers had healthy teams on their path to championships, and the Clippers and Nets did not. This is the risk involved in trading draft picks and young players for a superstar. The team is betting its future on the health of its roster. Smaller trades are often used to elevate a team that feels it has a chance to win a title. Several trades have helped to set up championships in the past decade. Drew Holiday to the Bucks, Andrew Wiggins to the Warriors, Anthony Davis to the Lakers, and Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors, as we discussed, and Kevin Love to the Cavs. Besides Leonard's deal, all of these trades gave eventual championship teams the complementary pieces that they needed, not their best players. Trades are usually the cherry on top of the cake that is baked in the draft and free agency. The draft is a fantastic way for losing teams to put together a core of young players. Arguably the 4 greatest dynasties in the modern era of the NBA got their roots from the NBA draft: the 80s Lakers, 90s Bulls, Tim Duncan's Spurs, and the recent Warriors dynasty. While many championship teams only use free agency to sign role players to round out their rosters, there have been a few championship teams since 2000 who almost completely owe their success to free agency. The Lakers won 3 championships in a row thanks to their signing of Shaquille O'Neal. LeBron James signed with the Heat and won back-to-back championships. And Kevin Durant's free agency signing with the Warriors in 2016 helped them win championships in 2017 and 2018. Superstar players are typically on max contracts, so it's important to tackle the rest of the roster in a cost-effective manner. 3-and-D wings are cheap relative to star players, but they still have a steep price. The best ones usually are young and come at a premium in the NBA draft, but lots of older 3-and-D wings are available for budget-friendly contracts in free agency. Stretch bigs are the cheapest of the 3 types of players we've discussed due to their abundance. As for the rest of the roster, building a team around three-point shooting, layups, and defense has proven to be a reliable path to success based on history and analytics. Ultimately, the NBA is a rapidly evolving league. No one really knows where analytics will take basketball in the future, but NBA fans like me are excited to observe. I had so much fun learning about the NBA and analytics throughout this project, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you for watching.